Hey, welcome to Sugar Melts. My name is Lori, and today I'm going to talk to you about a new card that I've been doing a lot of. It's a trifold card. This was the first one I made for my boyfriend on Father's Day. So I really liked how that turned out. It has a nice stand-up option there. You can use your stamps. You can use different colors. There's lots of room for DSP. And then I went on and I broke out the new hand-penned stamps and DSP. And I made this one for my girlfriend. She's applying for a new job, and she called. She wasn't sure she felt qualified, and I thought this card was just perfect. It said, "Here for you now, and in better days ahead, you're absolutely amazing." Because I said I think she'll be perfect for that job. And then this morning, I made this one out of another color palette. Really happy with how that turned out. Again, lots of options with the dies, with the DSP, with the stamps. I'm able to use markers, both the blending markers and regular ones. It just brings everything together really easily. So let's make another card. Let me show you where all this is though, in case you're looking. So if you go to your annual catalog, the current one, and scroll to the back where the DSP will be found. Sorry, probably should have marked the page. Did not do that. So it's down here at the bottom on page 131. It's really a beautiful collection of different colors, wildflowers. So it looks like this. So you get 2 sheets of each of these, and they just complement each other really well. And then when you flip it over, all these beautiful backgrounds that are great for matting your paper. It's just really beautiful. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. And the stamps come with dies. Let me get all of these to show you. So there's the color and contour, which isn't actually part of the set, but it's that whole watercolor feature. So it works really well with it. This is the actual hand-penned petals. Beautiful set. We'll be using this today, but don't overlook the color and contour. And if earlier in the year you picked up a touch of ink, these also, I put some of these on my stamp blocks because I thought I might use this flower and this leaf set. They also just complement that whole watercolor style. And then lots of dies. Dies are great here. These are really fun. This can be the back side, and then here's your flower. What that looks like, I cut one out. We'll see. I'm not sure I'm going to use all of it, but if you've looked at it and said, what do I do with that? It cuts out that flower that matches this stamp, and then you've got a background. So you can do all 3, 1, 2, whatever works for your card, whatever style you're looking for. And then, of course, I love when they have these background. Use several of these in today's cards. I've used this one on most of the cards I already showed you. Today I'm using the second one and then the smaller ones for where I'm putting the message. So lots of fun there. And this, of course, this die set goes with the color and contour. So they're just such great sets. So much fun to use. And so like this card, I don't really have a huge plan. So I just cut everything out. I loaded a bunch of stamps on my stamp blocks, got out the right colors, my glue, and figure we'll just figure it out as we go. I'll see what kind of card I make. So the way this trifold card works, take a full sheet of paper, just your standard 8.5 by 11, cut it in half, and you can honestly cut it either way. So if you'd rather have it narrower to go long ways, or if you want more of a traditional tall card, either way, just cut them in half and then score in the middle as you normally do for your cards. So this becomes the 8.5 by 5.5, and then score at 4 1/4. And what we're going to do to make this card is we're going to put this together like that. We're going to glue these two pieces together. See how that comes together? And that's how you'll get your open card. Super easy. Okay. So then what I do, and there's lots of different ways to decorate this. I mean, this is such a beautiful card. So if you have paper that you're wanting to, show off or compliment, this is a great way to use that DSP and bring all those components together. So for today's base, I'm using one of the sheets from that hand pen, and you can see these go perfectly together. So I cut this out, I brought it in 1/4 inch. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. And I didn't scallop the edges or anything like that. And then I put out the DSP and I made it quite a bit smaller because I really want to show off that Highland Heather beneath it. So that's Highland Heather, and I'm using the second one in. If you're looking at your paper, for example, and you don't know, if you bought the paper and you're like, how do I know which purple that is? You probably know this, but in case you don't, if you either go to the website or go to the catalog, underneath the name of it where it says hand pen 12 by 12, it will say coordinates with, and it will list all of the colors that you need. So if this is your first time stamping or anything and you don't want to just buy a bunch of stuff and not have it work together, I think it's a great idea just to pick something you like if you like this paper, pick this paper and then get the matching cardstock, inks, pens, so that at the end of the day, if you're just starting, you've now got what you need to make cards. You don't have to keep buying pieces and parts and they don't go together. This is a great way to get your first kind of set going. And as you can see with all the watercolor variations, different stamps, you'll be able to easily add to this to make other complementary cards. Okay, so let's go ahead, and the first thing I'm going to do is just glue all these pieces together. Let's just do that. Okay. Whenever you're gluing and taping, it's always best to glue on the smaller side first so that the glue does not go over. And my glue appears to be a little bit dry. So the fastest way I have found, there's probably better ways, but fast and cheap, is I just take a paper clip and I unfold it and I stick it down in there. I honestly was making a card like an hour ago. Boy, once these things start to get dry in there, it doesn't take long. And this just kind of breaks that open. And then I throw it away because I get these for like $1,000 for $2 or something crazy like that. So here we go. So let's go ahead and put some glue on here. You don't want too much glue because you don't want it to be bulky. Make sure if your paper has an upside that they're both matching. Now, fortunately, the back doesn't have an up or down, so it doesn't really matter. But if it did, this would be important. If I want to make sure this is flat, I use some paper here in this roller thing, and I just smear it across the top. If I don't have a piece of paper handy, just flip it over to the side that won't be visible in case there's anything on here that you wouldn't want on your card. That's just to be careful to make sure everything stays kind of clean. Okay, let's get some more glue on this one. And the reason, normally I don't press down on every single component, but since this is trifold, not only is it trifold, so that's a full sheet of cardstock, but with all of these layers of the 2 sets of matting, that's going to be kind of a bulky card, so I don't want any extra glue that would contribute to that bulk. There we go. Honestly, the longest part about this is just kind of cutting everything out, which is nice because you can do that while watching TV or listening to the radio. Just kind of, you don't have to do a whole lot of creative thinking. You can just sit there and kind of churn it out, you know what I mean? Okay, so I've got these 3 mats, and then let's glue these 2 pieces together. Okay, so this is going to be going outward, right? Okay, so I want, and I do this all over. I do this multiple times, so I'm doing it to make sure. It really won't matter where the glue goes because since it's all the same piece of paper, you just flip it around if you did it on the wrong side that you didn't think of. It'll all come together. Okay, so then we want to be really careful here to make sure this is snug and right in there, right in that edge, okay? Again, let's make sure there's no bumps. Here we go. Okay, so I creased these edges earlier with my bone folder. Let's go ahead and do that usually once more after that extra piece is in there. It just adds, you know, quite a bit of bulk to it. Go. Then fold that out. Crease this again. Just make that nice and tight. Okay. So just take a look at your card and decide what you want to be, the front or the back. There may not be any difference at all, but if there's a slight variation, this is the time just to look at that and see what you want. I also set out my paper at this point, and I take a quick look because what we're going to do, let me show you, is I've got 3 panels. So you're going to have 3 panels. As I decide if there's any variation between these, that I would want one to be in the front or the back. For example, this one has this big, beautiful purple flower, so I don't want that covered up as much as maybe another one, if that makes sense. So like this is I cut these out too, so I've got all these little pieces and parts here. We'll see how they come together. We'll stamp on them in a second. They're from that die set. This one goes to here. This one is that second one. And then this one is the 3rd size. So I basically used 4 of the 5 dies on this card alone. There were other cards I've used literally every single die on it. So the big one I've used on this outside one on multiple cards. So I usually put my big message in the back. And then I have this one here. And I think what I'll do then is I'm going to put this up here on the front just to kind of give it a little bit of contrast between them. Do I want to do like that maybe? Oh, I think I like that better. So there's not much of a difference based on what this covers. However, you see that white leaf in the middle? That'll cover that. And yeah, I guess I really can't get away from that white leaf based on the way these are all set up. It's gonna just show up where it does. Okay, that'll be fine. It's gonna be there wherever it goes, I guess. Okay, so we'll leave it like this, and then in a few minutes, we'll kind of do some stamping, I think, and get all that on there. In the meantime, I can go ahead and, I'm gonna go ahead and glue these panels to the card base, and then we'll do some stamping, okay? Okay, so I've got 3 parts here. Want to make sure I get it centered in each of the panels. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it back like this, just so I've got a better visual of where my card is going. I do like using a wet glue over different tape options because then I've got a little bit of wiggle room when I'm putting these platforms, the mattings down. I can just kind of, it gives me a little bit of time to adjust things. Also think over time, I feel like the wet glue holds up longer. I've had cards where sometimes the runner tape has weakened over time. Oh my gosh, this card is so pretty, and I haven't even done anything with it yet. All I've done is glue and cut. I love it when the paper does so much of the work for me, and just, even if I'm not feeling particularly creative, I can just come down to my craft space and know that it's just going to come together. I just kind of have to start taking things out of drawers, playing with some things, and it will all come together. Okay, so there's my 3 panels already. And I've got these that I'm gonna just do something with. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I've got my, since most of the stamps are the clear, you want to use a foam pad underneath. It really does make a big difference in how clear the image is. Makes it much better. I decided this one needs to be a happy birthday card because I'm always in need of a happy birthday card. And this way I've got one around. Sorry, that's white on white. I do like to have scrap paper between the foam and the card, just because if I drop something, I'm not going to get the entire image the entire paper all inky. Okay, happy birthday. And this happy birthday stamp, how perfect is that? That's so lovely and small. This actually came, if you got this stamp set earlier during the celebration, the punch party, which I got it for free during the celebration, and there's the happy birthday right there. I was like, oh, that's just perfect for today. So I do love, because we're going into another celebration, when they have these sentiments, because I just can never have enough sentiments. You always need it to fit in the space, and this really allows it to do that. Okay, so then I want to put, I'm thinking this will sit on here, and then I've got somewhere, where did I put it? I had my white, oh my gosh, could I ever do a video where I don't lose something in the process? I had a die cut, oh, here it is. It's white, that's why I can't see it. This die cut image. I think I'm gonna color this and put that right on there like that. Let's see if that looks good. Okay, so the flowers, I'm gonna use my Stampin' Blends. I think it'll work out pretty nice here. I start with my light one. I just kind of go over things here. And I've heard some people say, oh, don't use it on such and such a kind of paper, or don't, I don't know, all these different rules of how to use these things. But I find these to be just really pretty. So I'm just going over the flowers real quick. And then we'll go over it with the dark one and kind of bring it all together. We'll do the leaves at the end. Okay, just kind of color. So we're going into a 4th of July weekend. Hopefully all of you have some time off, I'm hoping, for your sake, to enjoy, since last year's 4th of July with COVID wasn't a lot of fun. So hoping you all have barbecues to go to and family coming over. That is such a fun time. And then I'll do my, so the green on this, now in the earlier card I did, I used the new succulent paper, but actually it's supposed to be mint macaron, but I thought the succulent worked out great. So it's just kind of a darker shade of it, and I'm real happy with the outcome of that, even though apparently I was supposed to use the darker color. Sometimes you just gotta break the rules, see what happens. So going in here, color that, and then I'll go over it with this darker one, and I'll just, don't really have a plan here. I just love purple so much. And I love it when I can do a card that's green and purple. Oh my gosh. Those are just such great colors together. So that's coming together. Oh, I like that. And then I'll do the darker green. Dark green. I like the big marker tip end when I'm doing colors like this. And then I do go back over it again with the lighter one, and that's where the kind of blending comes in. Kind of fills in some of that, makes it look not like you're using markers, you know, but just like that, as they're called, the blend. Makes it more shadowy, that natural dimension. Okay, then back over it with the green for the leaves. Bring it all together, and we'll see if my not so plan is going to work out. Okay, rough this out of the way. What do you think? Ooh, that's going to be pretty. What do you think? I like it. I think it's a keeper. And then I've also got, like I said, I just break everything out when I do these, some ribbon that I think we can put under that when we get closer to it. Okay, so let's stamp then on this one. This will be kind of the big piece in the middle here. Got so many stamps over here that I set up just not knowing what I was going to end up doing. Thought, oh, I'll just figure it out when I turn the camera on. I kind of think I want to use the Touch of Ink stamps, and that's these two here, or four actually. Maybe I'll use those on the smaller piece. Let's do that one first. Just kind of see if this, we'll see if it comes together. So I need first to do my black outline, flowers. Okay, and let's just do a little bit like this, like that. Okay, set that aside, and then there's the leaf is right here. Then I'll just do the leaves like right up there. Oops. Okay, that'll work for me. And then I've got here's the petals. So it'll be, let's see. Well, these are the leaves. So where are the petals at? I think these are the petals. These are the petals. Yes, so it'll just go in there like that. I've got my Highland Heather ink pad out. Okay. Kind of line it up there. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that is so pretty. And then we'll do the mint macaron for the leaves. And it's going to be like right there, okay? Oh, how pretty is that? Came out darker than I wanted. That's a little bit darker than I expected it to be. Although some of those leaves in there are that dark. So let's see, when I open it up, if I want to do a stamp off instead. You know? Well, I've got this other one here. Let me go ahead and do a second round and we'll see if it looks better. Let me just, where's my, here's my, we'll just do the leaves again and see what you think. So I'm just going to do the outline again of the leaves. That's why I say sometimes I just do a whole bunch and then see what comes of it. Okay, there's that. And then this time we'll stamp off and see if we like this one better. So there's there. One. And then if I do like that. Oh, I think that looks much more appropriate. Okay, so then let me do the flowers again. Is this the right flower? I've got so many stamps here going on. It's kind of funny. Yep, this is it. Okay, so maybe I should also stamp off on that one too. What do you think? Let's see what that looks like when I stamp. Oh, I put that in the black ink. Well, darn it. 1 second. I put it in the Memento and I gotta clean this stamp really fast. 1 second. Ooh. Well, I have rarely done that, but I can't say it's never happened. Fortunately, I did it before I actually stamped on the image. Okay. So got that cleaned off real quick. Let me just dry it a little bit more. Always good to have some kind of wet wipe or something around to clean if you need to. Okay. And then let's go like that. Perfect. Didn't stamp off. Let's just not even worry about that for the time being. Okay, so we got that image done. And then get a fresh piece of paper here. And we'll do the large image. Okay, so now we have the big piece. And I guess we should probably use something from the hand-penned. What do you think? Let's do one of these. So many choices. I tell you, I just go, wow, so many choices. Let's start though. I do like this one stamp a lot. It's very subtle. It's very easy, but it adds so much character to the card and still leaves you with lots of space for writing your message. I don't know about you, but sometimes I look at these cards online and I think, well, there isn't even room to write happy birthday. I don't know. So sometimes it doesn't always make sense to me. I want to make sure that I've got a place to tell the person why I'm sending them the card, why they're so special to me. So that's going to be that image. See how pretty that is? And that just goes right over the top there. How pretty. Oh my gosh. As they say, sometimes less is more. So I feel like this card does that. And then I do have from several different stamp sets these, actually I could put a couple of these little flowers in here. There's another. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Let's do it like that. Boom. Have you seen these stamps that have the little dots on them? And they really add a nice 3D kind of texture component. So I want to put a couple of these little dots around. Let me stamp off. Do like that. Stamp off. Do like that. Just real subtle in the background. Okay. And we'll do that up here on this piece. Okay. And then even on our very first card, the very first, there, pretty. Okay, I think we're ready for our final assembly. So I'm gonna get some of this, oh my gosh. Here we go, so I'm gonna make some space here. Bring the card back out. If you're not on the card, I'm gonna move out of the way. We don't have too much space here for all this, so let's keep focused. Oh, I wanted to add some ribbon on here. So I'm gonna get a little piece here. I usually use glue dots for this, so I like to do just kind of a thing like that. And glue dots, let's see where they went to. They were right here. Here we go. Find the end of the glue dots here. There we go. Okay. So take one and let's do like right there. Make the loop back around like that. And I use often, here we go, like my pokey tool to pick these off. I think that works really great. Just kind of flip that bow around. So you've got your little loop there. That'll go there. And then bring this one back around. That can be smaller. Okay. Oops, where did it go? Oh, it's on my finger instead. Let's get you back on the paper where you belong. Okay, and then when we're done, we can trim off the loose ends, but we'll just put the sentiment right there in the middle, and I'll pop that up on some dimensionals, of course. Let's glue this together first. Again, always put the glue on your smaller piece so you don't accidentally have some leaking out where it doesn't belong. Let's get this centered. Okay. 1, 2. Pretty much if I'm putting a ribbon down like that, I'm almost always going to use dimensionals just because you've added this extra element with the ribbon. So that makes sure everything is in place. So then we got to center it. And this is about the same width as the die underneath it. So that works out really well. Got that. And then we're going to put that right there. Oh my gosh, how pretty is that? So let's just get some glue on here. Don't need too much because there's so much overhang. I know people have other fancy ways of gluing, but I like to keep it kind of simple. I can only handle so many tools in my craft room. Just use what I have. So that's right at the edge there. Let's just scoot that over just a little bit. That glue will dry clear. It won't be in the way. Okay, so now I can trim that ribbon so it's not hanging over. And then just a little bit off of that end so it's not hanging over. Perfect. And then we'll glue this piece right here in the middle. Oh my gosh, super pretty. And then we have these two, and I think we're going to go with the one that we stamped off. And then we'll put that right there. Oh my gosh, how pretty is that? So I hope you enjoyed today's card that we did, and that you know, look at your supplies, look what you have, and I'd love to see what what you come up with off of this style, this beautiful trifold card that just highlights so many different stamps and dies, papers, colors, just really brings them to life and makes them a really special present. It's part of the gift itself. It's not just a card. It is really part of the gift that you're giving to your friend or loved one. So otherwise, hey everybody, have a great day and thanks for spending it with me. Talk to you soon. Bye.